The sequel to Fantastic Beasts is heading back to theaters, but will Johnny Depp's off-screen persona impact the box office? I'm Elizabeth Wagmeister, and I'm here with our executive editor of media and film, Brett Lang.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, Brent. All right, so let's just start out talking about the potential impact for the sequel to Fantastic Beasts. The original made $814 million worldwide. Do you expect the sequel to do as well?
I think Warner Brothers certainly hopes it will do as well because this film cost a little bit more than the previous film in the series. But it is looking like it'll open pretty strong, about $250 million globally in its opening weekend, about $65 million domestically, which is a little softer than the first film in the series or the first spin-off in the series, but still a very good number.
How do you anticipate the sequel for Fantastic Beasts will rank among other holiday films?
It's very well positioned. It's coming out a week before that Thanksgiving holiday, so I think you're looking at The Grinch still doing some big business, Fantastic Beasts doing some big business, and then Ralph Breaks the Internet coming out next week. And that'll kind of divvy up that family audience, with maybe the Fantastic Beasts movie skewing a little bit older than the other two.
What is it about Fantastic Beasts that you think works? Is it that it is a spin-off of Harry Potter? Is it still getting all of those fans, or is it really serving a new audience as well?
Well, I think it is more of a throwback to Potter, and the Potter DNA is a really big part of the Fantastic Beasts universe. And if you looked actually at some of the demographics of the first Fantastic Beasts film, that audience skewed a little older than the Harry Potter movies, which suggests that the audience has actually aged into Fantastic Beasts. So it's a family-friendly film, but it's probably a little bit older kids.
Now, of course, we can't talk about this film without talking about Johnny Depp, who really has been in the headlines for a lot of the wrong reasons over the past couple of years. There was that scathing Rolling Stone profile that came out about him, which mentioned his drinking and his drug use and also the state of his finances. Of course, there have been allegations of abuse against him from his ex-wife Amber Heard, which he has denied. But still, when his casting was announced, there was a lot of backlash. Here's what J.K. Rowling said in response to the controversy. Quote, "Based on our understanding of the circumstances, the filmmakers and I are not only comfortable sticking with our original casting, but genuinely happy to have Johnny playing a major character in the movies." Now, Brent, you reported on Johnny Depp after that Rolling Stone profile came out. What did you learn about Johnny Depp right now and his state in Hollywood?
I think that if you're a studio like Warner Brothers and you're releasing a $200 million film that's aimed at family audiences, you probably don't want your star to be smoking hash with a reporter. It tends to be off message. The domestic abuse allegations, despite the fact he's denied them, raise some really troubling questions about his behavior. And again, it's just, will audiences be able to take all that baggage and put it aside and enjoy this movie, which is supposed to be kind of an escapist adventure? And that's the big question. If you look at tracking, it appears they're not overly bothered by it. If Warner Brothers was to go back, would they cast Depp? I don't think so. And I wouldn't say that they've really hid Johnny Depp. I mean, his character Grindelwald is in the title, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and he is in posters. He did come to Comic-Con, although that was something of a PR disaster because his ex-wife Amber Heard is in another Warner Brothers title, Aquaman. She had appeared on stage shortly after Depp appeared on stage, and so that was a whole new wave of negative headlines. So that's the problem here. I don't think audiences are going to reject this movie because of Johnny Depp, but he draws negative attention to the film that a movie studio doesn't want to have to deal with when they're trying to do a really complicated global launch to a really important franchise.
You brought up an important word, the word franchise, which seems to be the films that Johnny Depp works in. But what do you think about Johnny Depp's star power in a solo film? If he's not part of a huge franchise that people already know, do you think that he'll still continue to be cast and perform well at the box office?
No, I don't. I mean, I think he'll still be cast. You'll still see him in certain movies that have more foreign appeal. It appears that his audience hasn't diminished as much over there. He'll complete his role in these Fantastic Beasts films, barring some other, unforeseen incident. But he's reached a point where he's a real distraction. And he's a very talented man, but his troubles have kind of spilled out into the public square in a way that just companies don't want to be involved with him right now.
Absolutely, and sometimes it's very hard to separate the off-screen persona from the on-screen persona, and we've seen a lot of that come to light, of course, through the Me Too movement over the past year.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much, Brent, for your expertise and for weighing in. And of course, for more on the sequel to Fantastic Beasts, go to Variety.com or follow us on Twitter.